So this is an explanation as to why I make music royalties for the most part through the ASCAP system. Once upon a time, I did a lot of production music that was used in TV shows, and some of them were like syndicated shows like American Ninja Warrior that go on and on for a very long period of time. So I was very fortunate to have the right connection at the time, and that's why I was able to accumulate quite a few placements, what's called placements. And I have done different kinds of jobs that involve getting my music into films or TV, but it was only one production house in particular that really did the most of the placements. So without further ado, what I'm trying to show here is where the royalties come from when I make royalties. And that's changing all the time because the market's going to digital, and the digital rate is completely different. And so everything is so different now than when I started. But at least I can illustrate like where it started and where it came from. So here is IMDb. And if you search cmdess like this, it takes you to my page, and it takes you to Charles Michael Desser, who that's me. And so it also has some info about like what I was doing in San Francisco, because that's where I was located at the time. And I just haven't updated that for a very long time. But I do keep updating these placements as they come in through what's called cue sheets. So the cue sheets are the way that the television shows kind of keep a log of what music is used in the show. Now, while I have quite a few of these shows, which is really a tremendous honor and a tremendous privilege, they're not major placements in terms of having a lot of the show use my music, where it's more like a show will use 30 seconds of my music or a minute of my music. And that's sort of the way that most of the modern TV is curated, in the way that it's edited. And so anyways, that's why like if I had all my music like on every show where they were just using cmdess, and I had all these placements, I'd be a very, very, very rich person. I'd be as rich as Hans Zimmer. But anyways, that's why even though I have all these placements, it's not making me a fortune, but it is making me a small amount of money so that I can keep afloat like everyone else, as one of my additional hustles that I do in this world. But so these are all the shows, and I just wanted to give the rundown. So these are the shows from bottom to top. And there's some more in there from my ASCAP statements. I just haven't gotten around to adding them in. So that little scroll list shows every single one of those TV shows that has utilized my music in some small capacity for the most part. And I am very proud of ones like UFC and American Ninja Warrior in particular, and as well as Chopped, but especially those other two, because they use the most of the music when they're using it. So in other words, they'll use like a whole piece or over a minute or something to this effect. So you can really hear a great example of, what my music actually sounds like for some small period of time. Now, here on my website, I did create a couple different ways to check out how the music is used. And one of the main things I did was create a demo reel, where the demo reel skips to the specific portion of a video where my music can be heard underneath what's called the talking head. And so the music is really low in volume because, of course, you want the dialogue or the monologue or the narration to be the loudest and most audible thing, and in most aspects and most times. Whereas if you're just showing like a montage or some specific thing, it may be a little louder. So for instance, when you click play on this, it will run through about 10 of the videos that I've put in here to the very specific parts on, let's say, television shows. This happens to be a wrestling show, and I have some network promos. So if you see an advertisement on TV as well, sometimes I'm lucky enough to have a placement in one of those because They will utilize, a trailer style piece of music, or a hip hop style song, or an urban style song, or electronic style song, or some sound design that I did for the promo. So anyways, that's just an example of where the royalties I make come from. Now, theoretically, I would love for my streaming stuff to be making royalties, and my additional like radio and whatever outlets, Mood Media, radio, and that's heard in the Muzak for businesses. This is an additional place I would love to have my music be making more money, because I see it as a more of an opportunity for me to be able to just do material and then push it to the companies and have them be able to utilize it, versus trying to have to hustle for work. And so what people don't understand about the music industry is, while I'm pretty talented as a composer, I am one of many hundreds and hundreds of additional, or even thousands of additional talented composers who are willing to do the craft of working with all these clients and be in the locations and do all these specific things to compete for work. And so they'll do a lot of things to be able to get these jobs, and it involves a lot of things I can't even discuss here. So it's fortunate that I was able to get my material utilized in the ways that they were utilized, but I'm also looking to get it utilized on other aspects, such as, like I mentioned, regular radio, radio that's on the internet, more B2B placements such as Sonos Music or Pandora's Business Music and things like that. And I also have my so-called independent music that's being used for all the major streaming sites. So if you search cmdess in the major streaming sites such as Spotify or Pandora or Amazon or YouTube, you will be able to pull up my the majority of my independent releases, which is, there's really no independence in the music industry, because you have to be part of a big system, distributors and all this kind of stuff. On my website as well, I did make a demo reel. It's really not for everybody, but it is mainly just to show off the many different kinds of music that I make. So for instance, in this demo reel, you'll see anything from crazy orchestral music like this, to a holiday piece like this, to a trailer piece like this, to tribal music, all kinds of stuff. I try to put in a potpourri of material, and just to start it off with, I have some electronic works because I get a real kick out of those kinds of material. They can be utilized for lots of different aspects. Anyways, so this is my actual main website, which I have just at the moment. I may not have it forever, but I have it right now, which is nice. And you can find out a little bit more info about me as well if you're really interested, which is cmdess about, but cmdess is the main site, cmdess.com. And so this is my logo as well. But anyway, I just wanted to illustrate, what's going on when I say I'm a composer, a producer, where the royalties come from. That doesn't mean that I can easily go and do more of that and just make more money. And unfortunately, that's exactly what I would do if that were the case. But what that means is that I had the opportunity at the time to have some material that was utilized, but everything has changed since then. That's why this video is kind of long-winded. I just wanted to explain basically what the ASCAP system means for composers and producers, and how we get compensated when our music is utilized for services. Okay, that's it. I'll leave it at that. 9 minutes is way over the limit here. So I'll see you later, and I hope you can check out some of my music, and I hope that makes it more clear where the royalties they make come from for now.